folks, we're back at it. Hope you had a nice break. And we'll start off the second half, just briefly, because this is not the sports show, with the headline. Red Sox need fans will raise season ticket prices again in 2024.
What's wrong with that headline?
Yeah. One thing is a plea for new fans to come see us, and we're going to raise the prices and have a rotten team.
A particular after how well you did in 23. Of course you raised the price for 24.
As Al Smith would say in the 1928 election, let's look at the record.
That's right.
Yeah, well, let's look at the record. It looked like Little League baseball out there.
Oh, it did. I mean, some of the defensive moves that they put on were just, you could make this stuff up.
Throwing to the wrong base.
Yeah,
a little lob
to the second baseman for a double play, and he lob it over his head.
Yeah. And Devers, our third baseman, Rafi Devers, is our most skilled offensive player. Yep. And he has regressed in fielding. He was, once again, led the majors in errors, 34 of them.
Yep.
Now, Wade Boggs, I remember Wade Boggs well, meeting him down in Pawtucket. Nicest guy you'd ever want to talk to. He'd take grounders down at Pawtucket before the games, and if he could find somebody to hit him 200 grounders, he'd be out there fielding them. And if the guy wanted to say, I'll hit some more, or another guy, he'd be out there practicing. He went from a butcher to a decent third baseman, above average, with a good arm, too. But Rafi Devers is not willing to pay the price.
Things are not going to change with the Red Sox until Red Sox management and ownership look out there some night and there's hardly anybody there. Until they stop buying tickets, they'll keep tacking it to you.
It's interesting, too, on Devers, because they won't say this, but they allude to it. His sleeping habits need changing. In other words, after the games, he's out all night with the senoritas having a party. And he doesn't get home until daylight, gets a quick nap, and comes to the ball field.
Oh, yeah.
And that has wrecked a lot of careers.
We were at a party one time, I guess a party, and I made this statement. There's something about the Red Sox weren't doing well. I said, the tickets are underpriced. And I thought they were going to turn on me. What do you mean underpriced? My God, I said they're underpriced. I said in those days they were selling out every game. I said they have no incentive to improve. They sell every ticket they get. In fact, they're underpriced because they don't know if they raised the price 10% and you still bought them. They raised them 20% and you still sold them out. If you had a product and you were always selling out your day's production every day at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, you're either underpriced or you're underproducing. You were both. You could have got a lot more for that product than you're getting because you're selling it out too fast. The Red Sox are selling your seats out too fast. They're underpriced. I said they should double them and see what happens.
Keep raising the price until you find the point of resistance.
That's
where the consumer pushes back and says, I'm not paying that.
I'm not paying it
then
anymore.
You drop it back, and that's the sweet spot.
That's right. That's exactly right. But this case here, the fact that you're going to raise prices after such a dismal, 2 years, that's just greed.
They had a fantastic year as far as attendance was concerned. It was bigger than the prior year.
That's right.
Yeah. And at the end of the season, it was packed in there. I don't know. They live in another world. But you know what, though, Dwayne? Come spring, or actually come shortly, they're going to put the season tickets, the holders, on notice
Yep.
that, hey, it's time to renew your tickets for next year, and they'll be overwhelmed with the season ticket holders, and the ticket agencies have the same in as the season ticket holders. They'll grab their share,
Yeah.
and then there'll be some left out in
I
right
saw-
field.
The last series between the Yankees and the Red Sox, Ace Ticket was whining. Oh, we can't sell them. Nobody wants them. I got them down to $5. I had to give some away. I said, oh, cry me a river. You know, you're nothing but a legalized scalper anyway. And the fact that nobody wanted those tickets, too bad.
Yeah. In the springtime, when you got $850
Yeah.
for a pair, box seats, were you forgetting about that?
If you and I had, say the two of us, we had 2 extra tickets. We walked down to Fenway. We stood out in front, said, anybody need tickets? Chances are we'd get arrested.
Yeah,
But Ace, they can
they can do it.
do anything they want.
Yeah.
Even though there's a state law that says you can't sell, I think, $2 over face value. But
That's been changed.
it's kind of
Yeah.
gone.
Yeah, the club can't do it, but the resale agents, yeah,
They're
sky's the
just
limit.
legalized scalpers.
Yep.
I tried. I think I told you. I tried to buy. We had company coming. We had 6 people. I was going to get 6 tickets for the Revolution because I know the other 4 had never been to a soccer game. I thought that'd be a nice thing to do for Sunday night. And I couldn't go. I thought I could go up there and go to the window and buy 6 tickets.
Nope.
I had to get
Ace.
out. I had to go to computers. I had to do this. I said,
See you later.
I'm not getting
No.
involved with a computer and all that other stuff. Just to
I'll
get.
take them to the movies instead.
Yeah, we did something else.
Remember Jen Psaki?
Yeah.
Yeah. From the kind and gentle Jen Psaki. Yes, there are old people hurting. They are the old and white and running things in Washington.
Okay.
She's still got a vicious tongue.
Oh yeah, she's
Nasty. However, it's true. They're old and white and running things. But I don't think that's bad.
no, I don't think so either.
When you get the smartest guys in the room running things, certainly is a better alternative. Although recent events are not,
Withstanding.
yeah. One of the things that amazes me, the stupidity of ads on TV.
Oh my God.
How
They have reached some new lows.
do you like the one where there's a group of people sitting in a small auditorium or a large meeting room, and perhaps there's 40 or 50 of them, and there's a guy up on the podium from Leaf Filter,
Oh,
and the woman turns to her husband and says, "See, I don't want you up on that ladder. Now this is what we need."
yeah. Oh yeah. It's
Yeah.
oh,
And
that is so hokey.
Dwayne,
Can
a
anybody be that?
ladder's lethal.
No, but gravity is.
Yeah. But still, I mean, this is an insult to every man
Oh,
in the world.
Absolutely.
Can't go up and go whoosh, 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 and
It's
move the ladder
It's an
again.
insult to the people sitting in the audience to be so damn dumb.
Oh,
Like, so how does it work?
yeah.
Well, it's a screen, you idiot.
What happens when the top of the screen gets clogged up?
Well, we won't talk about that.
Yeah, let's don't talk about that.
'Cause I had some of those put on, and they work great for leaves.
Yeah,
They don't work so great for pine needles, though.
no.
Pine needles just pile up.
Yep. But they don't tell you that.
No, they don't tell you that. They only show leaves going around.
When I find politicians saying things of real brilliance that should help us in our lives, I like to carry them forward here on
Of course,
the
that's
show.
public service.
Vice President Harris.
Oh my God, giggles.
Yep. Young people have climate anxiety. It is stopping them from buying homes, getting married, and having children.
No, what's stopping them from buying homes?
Runaway inflation.
Is how much they
Are you
cost.
hinting that may be the cause?
Oh, positively. I 1 out of 100 will say, oh hell, 1 out of 500 will say, I won't buy a house because I don't want to contribute to global warming.
Yeah.
499 say, I can't buy that. Not I won't. I can't because I don't have the money.
Do you know that in every poll I see that is a one where they really break things down, you have to get to the 29th biggest problem we face to find anybody that'll say climate. And then it's 0.75 of, 0.7% of the people are concerned
Now,
about.
I'm not saying there's not something going on with the climate,
Correct.
because there is. But who and where and how is another we don't know yet.
There is, we're right to be concerned about the climate. It is not a climate crisis.
No, it's,
I mean, let's deal with it,
Yeah.
Oh, dear me, dearie me. The temperature is going to go up another 3/4 degree next summer.
Bill,
So
for somebody-
turn the air conditioner up to the next highest.
somebody like me, it's always cold. It's
Yeah,
good.
Well, yeah, I'm on blood thinners too. It's I mean,
There's no question that the ocean is warmer. Our storms are going to be stronger simply because storms live on heat. And the heat they gather from the ocean. That's what tornadoes gather heat. Hurricanes are big eaters of heat. That's what keeps them going. Rainstorms, everything, it all multiplies.
yeah,
But we've been through this before. It's cyclical.
yeah.
This may be, and there's short cycles and there's long cycles, and sometimes the short cycles overlap with the long cycle, and you get what looks like a catastrophe.
In 1660, we had a mini ice age.
That's right.
Yeah. Oh, gee, that wasn't that long ago. 400 years ago.
No, well, geological time,
Yeah,
that's
insignificant.
instant.
Yeah.
Instant.
But it just seems to me that we are throwing the baby out with the bathwater here.
Now, I'm not saying that we should go back and just stoke up the coal furnaces and the coal heating, because there are other consequences of coal. And I lived in Ohio for a good number of years, and it was all coal. And your paint job on your car in 3 years was shot because the rain was so acid.
Acid rain, yeah. And of course, I remember coal and coal heating our houses, and I remember the stink of it and all
Yeah,
that.
it had an acrid smell.
Yeah. But there was a case out in Ohio or Indiana, out that way, and it was a power plant that had to curtail its pollution. And what they did was they changed the firing order around the natural gas that they were using, and they used something else as an accelerant to like supercharge the natural, and I'm not explaining it well because I didn't
I know where you're
understand
going.
it. Yeah. And you know what they used for fuel to fuel the supercharger? Coal.
Cool. I am not convinced that we had exhausted all scientific research. I don't know this, but I suspect. Really believe coal could be cleaned up.
I agree.
I don't think we've expended enough resources in scientific study into that, because it was too easy to say, no, we'll just switch to this, or no, we'll switch to this. If, in fact, that we had no alternative, to say we just, all we had was coal, I think they would have found a way of cleaning it up.
A perfect example, Dwayne. The exhaust pipes in cars.
They clean them up?
Yeah. Catalytic converters. No, well, no one thought of that.
No.
And that was an expensive way to do it. Mass produced?
Yeah.
Hey, it's done.
Everybody lived with it. It's cost a couple $100 extra in your car.
Yeah.
You know, the expensive cost of the car is so high anyway, you never notice it.
Yeah. What are you bitched off about? What, you got something over there that...
Yeah. Here's one I just saw on the news. A Florida boy 11 shoots 2 teens. He comes out of a sports outfit on a little league baseball game. He's mad about something. He goes to his mother's car, picks up a gun, and shoots 2 kids. Now,
Kind of a little overreaction by the tyke.
total reaction again. No common sense. I know they're 11 years old, but when you were 11, I was 11, we didn't go want to shoot somebody or kill somebody. We knew what the consequences were. Some of these kids have no consequence through their actions whatsoever. And the mother keeping a loaded 9mm under the passenger seat, one in the chamber ready to pull the trigger and go. What? Is she nuts?
It may well be she lives in a neighborhood where she has to do that. And boy, does that speak well of the local police department and the town, city government. And
but I doubt she could have handled it anyway if she picked it up.
I agree with you. Probably couldn't hit the side of a barn.
I mean, just the kid to do that. I can't fathom my son doing that. I can't fathom my grandkids reacting that way. I think that, I don't know where they get that today, but they get that, I'll kill you. I don't know if it's I'm kind of reluctant to blame things like video games, but it might be something with it. Well, social media might have something to do with it.
In video games,
oh, I know.
You press the reset button, and the guy is alive again.
We played, well, we didn't play Cowboys and Indians. We played Germans and Americans, Nazis and Americans, but
we played liberals and conservatives.
Yeah, I bet you did. Well, every day when we weren't in school, we were up in the woods shooting each other with.
My grandfather taught me to shoot with .22 rifle, and he said, "Let's walk over to this post where the grandma had her clotheslines." Bang into the post. He says, "Imagine if that had been your eye."
Yeah.
And we did the same thing with a BB gun too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And he always was preaching to me about you keep the gun down, safety.
I bought an air rifle to teach my grandkids to shoot and shoot safely. I couldn't very well shoot. I don't have any guns here, any firearms here. I left them all when we moved because of too much hassle.
Oh, there's a hassle you would have gone through.
I had to go through. If I wanted to move them here, they had to be shipped to a federal arms dealer.
Yep.
And then I had to get a permit to get them from him and all that. I said, her brother can have them. If he wants to give them to his grandkid, I don't care what you, just keep them there. But I bought a good air rifle, 1,220 foot per second.
Ah.
So it's got the velocity higher than a .22. But I figured that it's not a BB gun per se, but it's also
It's an air rifle.
it's an air rifle. I can shoot it in the backyard. It doesn't make much noise, just a little clunk. And I can teach them gun safety with it, and they're very good at it. They get too lazy pumping it more than once, though, after
Yeah.
a while. Because you're supposed to pump it 3 or 4 times. It pumps pretty hard after the second pump. But it would kill somebody.
Oh, I'm sure of it.
A well-placed,
Yep.
because it'll go through not an aluminum can, but a steel can, like a beans or peas, the real metal can. It'll go through one side and blow out the other side of it. But I'm glad I did, because they would have never had a chance to,
Yeah.
or knew anything about it. The safety on, safety off, and then I made them go through the drill each time. And they, of course, got Nana to come out and shoot with them. And we had a can thing swinging. And luck would have it, Nana hits the can dead center on the first shot. Well, you want to see 2 boys that don't want to shoot with Nana anymore. And Nana walked away and said, that was just luck.
Oh, shoot. The good old days.
Yeah.
You don't hear 2 shakes of a lamb's tail.
No, you don't.
Or get a wiggle on.
Yep.
Or Indian summer.
That's another term you don't hear. If you say that around here, the people don't know what you're talking about.
No.
But you know that those kind of idioms drive people with learning English nuts.
Yeah.
My daughter or my sister-in-law, my brother's sister-in-law, brother-in-law's wife, she just go crazy. What does that mean? Why do you say that?
You know what's interesting? To look something like this up on Google and say, how did this originate?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Because my grandfather always used to, when I did something dumb, he'd say, you bunkerhead.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I never in my life heard anyone use that term.
Bunkerhead.
Ever.
I don't know what that is either.
So I looked it up recently on Google, and it was a term used in the late 1800s, early 1900s, with German immigrants. And bunkerhead actually meant a dull person.
Yeah,
or
I guess the meaning.
Yeah, and it came from words very close to that, pronounced like that in German.
Yep.
I said to myself, my grandfather's mother was full German. That's where it came from.
Yep. Those things like I never knew for a long time why don't look a gift horse in the mouth. I couldn't. Then somebody reminded me, you judge the age of a horse by how many teeth they have. If somebody's going to give you a horse, you don't open its mouth to see how old it is.
Yeah. That's good stuff. You gotta love that. It's fast disappearing. The kids aren't curious about things
They're not.
like
They
that.
don't care.
Now, you know what? Some of them are dull.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God.
For smart kids, they're dull.
Yep.
No curiosity.
No common sense in some of this stuff either.
Amen.
That's scary. But they're smart in other areas that we don't have any concept of.
You know, they could probably build an atomic bomb in their backyard.
Yeah. But you and I are both basically computer illiterate.
Yep. Yep.
We don't understand even things like cell phones. We don't. But you know what? I don't care. I'm too old to really start trying to play catch up on some of these things.
They're not. I'd like to know how to be able to handle a cell phone. And I can do the old flip kind.
I had one of those.
I recently broke down out on Route 1 in Plainville. My car threw a belt,
Okay.
and I had to call Kevin Roach and get towed in and all. And I'm saying to myself, now, if this had happened on a back road in Plainville, what the hell would I do? Walk until I found a house and go bang on the door and they'd say, "Go away, pervert"?
Yeah,
You
you don't.
know.
Somebody years ago used to get people. I lived at 115. Every once in a while, I'm broken down. Could I use your phone? That with the cell phones, that has completely stopped. Nobody comes in the yard anymore.
So I walked in into a doggy center, doggy daycare center.
Daycare or the University Dog, whatever it is there.
Well, it's at the top of the hill in Plainville on Route 1, and it's a doggy daycare center, yeah. And I walked in there and said to the guy, "I just broke down." I said, "I pulled into your lot out here. My car is overheating." And I said, "Could I use a cell phone for a second? Call my mechanic." And he said, "Sure." He just handed me the cell phone. 20 minutes later, Kevin was there loading the car on the thing. But that's a perfect set of circumstances. That doesn't happen all the time.
Well,
You can't schedule your breakdowns.
I had to ask an elderly lady at Kohl's, how do you make a phone call on one of these things? She looked at me like, okay, yeah. Well, lady, I'm not hitting on you.
Yeah.
I don't know how to get this thing to work.
Yeah, I know. My wife is still learning her smartphone.
Yeah, well, there's so many things on that
Oh, man.
that I don't want to know. I don't need to know.
No.
I don't care.
And it's like the TV and the settings and all
Yeah.
that crap. Or the optional.
I do use my iPad.
And how is that working out?
Easy. It's easy to use because when my son bought it for me for Christmas a couple of years ago, he is an Apple guy. He said, "Got an Apple phone, Apple everything." He said they're simple, they don't screw up, you don't get all kinds of crap on them. You just press the button. You don't like what you got, press the button, it starts all over. None of this going through all these programs and stuff. But yes, was it yesterday or the day before? The day before yesterday, I turned it on. I usually check the news first. Oh my God, it wouldn't load. The pictures wouldn't come up on, and some wouldn't come up at all. And she said, "Well, you probably have to take it down someplace and have them clean it out. God knows what's in there." Implying that I would be messing around with them. But, and I probably was. But so I said, all right, well, there's a million places that'll, for $19.99 or $29.99, clean it all up. And so
Invite Patrick over.
or what Patrick do it.
Yeah. And he'll clean it up for you in about 5 minutes.
Yeah. But so then she's watching one of her stupid programs at about 11 o'clock and the TV goes off. And I see on the router box, we got 5 or 6 lights. And I said, "Oh, that light's out. This one shouldn't be blinking, and this one we're gone." I picked up the phone. Sure enough, there was no. We do the phone through the internet too, with everything through Xfinity. I said, "Oh, geez." I said, "Well, just wait a half an hour or so, see what comes back." Nothing come back, so I tried to call. Well, I got through all okay, but I had no idea if I got somebody in Nepal or Bogota, Colombia, or in the Arctic Circle someplace. I could not understand this guy. He just
Beautiful.
could not understand him. I said, "Well, I can't understand you." And then he went on and on. And I said, I'll try later. So I waited about 10 minutes to call back again. This time I got a woman that I could understand her. She was broken English. She says, "It's a planned outage." She said, "They gave us a time of 2:30 to be back, but she says it'll probably be 2:30 to 5 o'clock. She says they're updating something or other. And it came back about 4 o'clock. Everything just came back on. And then everything now is fast.
Oh, what?
So apparently, whatever was affecting my iPad was affecting everybody else's stuff too, because
They
this-
probably. I'm so stupid about this stuff. This is undoubtedly stupid, but it may be just change over to 4K.
So I don't know,
Yeah,
but whatever it was, now it's instantaneously. And, but
yeah. My old broken down computer. All of a sudden, faster overnight.
yeah, okay, probably.
And Patrick said, they did something.
yeah,
I said, what did they do? He said, how the hell do I know what they did? But they did something. And just shut up. Ask me other questions, you know. But he'll come over and go, boop, 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 boop. That's the end of the problem.
yeah.
And that drives me nuts.
I'm afraid to touch it because I would get screwed up even worse.
And, you know, I say that to him, and he said, Dad, it's not mechanical. You can't break it.
Yeah, that's what Craig used to tell me too.
Yeah. I hate it when they use logic.
I know.
The monsters. Speaking of logic,
Yes, sir.
this is incredible. 41% of the people in France polled. This was a poll in France. 41% of the people polled said people should be restricted to only 4 airline flights in their lifetime. This in the name of our climate crisis.
Oh, that's
41% favor that.
Well, depends on who you ask.
Yep.
If you ask somebody that never
Never
flies
travels.
once a year or once every 5 years, 4 is plenty for anybody.
Yeah. Yeah.
You ask somebody that has to fly for business or
Yeah.
does a lot of flying, it's not. I'm always leery of polls because you can poll anything you want.
Yeah. Yeah. As one of the politicians said, I could, I could get a ham cheese sandwich hired at
That's
the
right.
MBTA.
Yep.
There was an incident too the other day that's scary. Driverless car pins victim of hit and run driver.
I may be old-fashioned, William, but driverless cars scare the hell out of me.
You and me both.
Not just riding. I don't even want to be around them.
This car was some kind of a delivery car, and there was nobody in it. But yet a hit and run driver caused an accident and plowed into this woman. And she, in turn, was plowed into the path of the driverless car.
Okay.
So the driverless car automatically stops. It stopped on top of her.
No, see, that's the thing. It doesn't understand. It only reacts to certain stimuli, and the reaction are for stimuli A, it does B or C. There's no judgment.
That there was a woman screaming underneath the tire didn't just make a damn thing, you know. They had to wait for additional crews so they could physically pick the car up and pull her out.
You know, there's an ad out there, one of them, I think it's a Ram truck. They're driving down this road. It has no curves, no nothing in it. It's completely on the desert. And of course they set it for automatic. And they're goofing around. In the bottom it says, driverless feature only available on select highways. Because the highway has to be set up for
They have the markings on it, yeah.
And I'm thinking, there is no way that this lone desert road, just a little thing, is set up to do that. But it implies that, every road is implied that way. But you were speaking of ads before. These people go along and they decide to camp. Well, they're in somebody's land next to a lake and they just set up. You can't do that. You get caught for trespassing.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's amazing. I don't know where this is going to end, but in Massachusetts, you're supposed to have two hands on the wheel.
That's right. Yeah, you're not even supposed to be having one hand out the window or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, how is this going to affect that?
I don't know.
How is Massachusetts going to test driverless cars
Good
before
point.
they certify them for use on Massachusetts highways?
The kid goes down to take his driver's test. He slips a button and says, "Okay,
Yeah,
here we go."
exactly.
Yeah.
The Ford F-150 ad with the little girl in the back seat was one of the four-door pickups, and it was the thing was cruising in our F-150, and the father, I guess, takes his hands off the wheel and sits back, and she's sitting in the seat behind him, and she says, "Now we're cruising.
Now I saw them.
We're cruising now." And she's wearing sunglasses.
Yep.
Yeah.
But you know, even ads like that, or even whatever, are so deceptive today.
Yeah.
They got that little fine print down the bottom. It's really hard. Even if you try,
You can't read it.
you gotta either stop. Sometimes I actually have taken the controller and bring it to a halt, back it up a little bit, and then stop and go up and see what that really says. And that Ford F-150 Lightning is one of them. They show the ones, I don't know if they're still doing the whole house being run
Yes.
by this pickup. And if on the bottom it says, vehicle does not actually light up entire house. Additional generators were on board. So, but they don't tell you that. They imply that they just took a plug and they stuck it in that pickup and it, boom, the whole house was all night long.
Well, it's like the Generac.
Yeah.
You know, they're sitting on the couch and the lights go out and then they come on back on.
Yeah.
But the Generac, the small unit, the base unit, will run maybe your kitchen appliances.
1,500 watts, the little one is. That's a hairdryer.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or a refrigerator for shortening power, or some lights. That's it.
That's it. Yeah. So, I mean, otherwise, you're looking at a $25,000 one.
Oh, Generac?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's they're excellent, but they are so expensive.
Yeah. I looked at a website, and the guy said, buy one, and then when you get done with the getting it wired into your system,
You have to put it on a cement platform to start with.
Yep, and also getting the propane or natural gas routed in.
So you don't have to worry about the fuel.
Yeah, you're looking at $18,000.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot of money.
Yeah, it is.
Dwayne, I worry about you sometimes about going to dangerous cities.
Well, yeah, our hometown now is a dangerous city. All right.
So, I read the 10 most unsafe large cities in the U.S.
Oh boy.
10. Number 1, San Francisco.
I believe that is true today.
Today,
I
yes.
don't think it was years ago.
It wasn't
kind of
20 years ago. It
peace
wasn't.
and love and everything else.
And all that crap,
Yeah.
yeah. Number 2, same situation, Seattle.
Seattle's another one that's going to hell.
Another laid back,
Yep.
yuppie haven, and the gangs are taking over.
Yep. Exactly.
Number 3, no mystery here, Atlanta.
Yeah.
It is a huge, huge city.
There's so much area you don't dare go into.
No, and they've lost control of it.
Mm-hmm.
Number 4, ditto, Los Angeles.
Yep.
Number 5, no secret here, Philadelphia.
Okay. See, I expected Detroit to be up there, but
Be patient.
I figure it's coming. But I was surprised we made it to 5 without it.
Well, they've lost so much population.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Number 6, Phoenix.
Now that's a surprise.
It is a surprise. Phoenix is a big college city.
But I suspect there's a lot of Hispanic gang activity in
I
Phoenix.
suspect you're exactly right. It's a border community. Number 7, New York City.
Yeah, that's
You know,
always
Rudy Giuliani cleaned it up. Now the Savages own it again.
been- Yeah. I think New York City at one point was higher than it is now. In 7.
Number 8, Miami,
That don't surprise me.
Gang City.
Yeah, Gang City again.
Number 9, Boston.
Yeah. I would guess there's
Number 10, Detroit.
Detroit. Yeah.
I'm surprised to see Boston up there.
No Oakland on there.
No, you know,
Maybe they consider that San
maybe they
Francisco.
didn't have the population
Yeah, that's true.
because these were big cities. Now, I got one other poll to share with you.
Yep.
Countries where people polled say they cannot afford to go on a vacation. In other words, can you afford to go on a vacation? No, I can't.
No, I can't. Countries that say they can't afford to go on vacation. Well, I don't know if I would be looking at third world type.
No, they don't have vacations.
That's
They're
what
in
I mean.
misery all the time. And emerging countries, they're becoming
what I think is possible?
industrialized.
Canada.
Number 1.
Because first of all, most all of them vacation here.
Yep.
In the exchange rate now, the U.S. dollar or their dollar's only worth 75 cents.
Yep.
Yeah, that boosts the price up.
30% of the people in Canada said they can't afford
Yep.
to take a vacation. Number 2, the U.S.
Yeah, that don't surprise me.
29% said
Yeah,
they can't
I
afford.
would-
And you know why? Because our tastes are expensive.
Yeah.
Okay? And when we're hit with inflation and hard times,
Yeah.
the big money folks tend to hang on to their money.
Yeah.
Number 3, Australia. It's expensive as hell to go on vacation there if you want to get
you-
off the continent.
If you want to leave,
Yeah.
it sure is.
Yeah. Number 4, Japan.
Everything in Japan's way overpriced, and I suspect again it's a case of getting away, and you have to go long distances.
Number 5, Germany.
I don't know anything. You would know one about
Yeah.
Germany. I don't know anything about Germany.
Their standard of living is, that's interesting. So we watch, we've been on a binge lately, BritBox, one of my streaming services. We're watching Vera. It's a British mystery, and they make 4 or 5 a year, 90-minute, and they're up to year 12, I believe.
Okay.
So we're up to year 9, I believe. So the graphics are wonderful. The scenery is wonderful. It's northern England, Northumberland,
Okay.
up
is
by Scotland.
The channel itself is that the stream,
BritBox.
that's a streaming service, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
And it's all British stuff.
I've
And-
seen the ads for it. I
Yeah,
just never.
it's,
I don't have
it's
it.
very reasonable. It's I think it's $7.95 a month, and it's 10 times that for a year.
Yeah. Okay.
There's great stuff on there.
Do you have to put your closed caption on to understand it?
Almost, yeah, almost. The heavy, not brogues, but their own
Yeah, I know.
particular language. But a lot of the city shots, and Susie said to me, there's an awful lot of poor sections in these cities in England. And I said, but their standard of living is lower than ours. It is not on our level at all. And the same thing goes for Germany. I'll never forget. A guy invited me to his house to have a couple of beers. He worked on post, and he said, "Oh, come and I will show you my souvenirs collection, and I will bring you back." And we had a couple of beers and all that. And I said, "Nice little house you have here." He says, "Oh yes." He says, "It's nice and warm in the winter." He said, "You only need a heavy sweater."
Yeah. It's the kind of thing here they would not put up with it.
No. And I have to have a 72 at my house or 74 at my house in the winter. And these people have it at 58 or
Yeah, right, exactly.
yeah. But it's interesting. I don't think we realize how well off we have it. We tend to bitch about all the things that are going wrong, but in many respects,
we really do. I know in many respects it's compared to other people in other parts of the world. We have it so much easier, but we also have so much less tolerance for anything. I just saw the other day something whining about public housing. Oh my God, the heat wasn't hot enough. It wasn't cool enough in the winter or in the summertime. Well, we don't have air conditioner. I don't mind it, but you'd think that the slightest little inconvenience is the end of the earth for some of these people.
you're absolutely right. We're spoiled.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't realize how good we have it. But in Germany, their life is very simple. Now, I was over there in 1963 through 65. So what's that? That's 60 years ago?
Yeah.
Wow.
You haven't been back?
Yeah.
You haven't been back? Have you been back?
No.
Okay.
No. We made a pact before we got married. Our first summer vacation, we're going to go back to Germany. Well, the honeymoon being what it was, I somehow or other zigged when I should have zagged, and Paul was born 9 months and 9 days after our wedding.
We had a 9 month or 9 day
Respite there,
window.
Yeah.
I was going to say, we all say the first one can come anytime, but the rest of them take 9 months.
So we put that on hold, and that was the end of it. After with 3 kids, no way. But Germany is an interesting place. When I was over there, now granted it was 20 years after the war, but when I was over there, here was their lifestyle. They'd go to work, they'd come home. There'd be supper on the table.
Yep.
And after supper, the men would go down to the pub. They all had their local pub.
Neighborhood stuff.
Yeah, they called them guest houses in Germany. And
10.
And you went down there, and the wives came oftentimes and sat with the wives.
Yep.
And the guys sat together, and they read the newspapers. The guest houses always had newspapers. So the Germans, very thrifty. Why buy a newspaper when I'm going to get out in the pub tonight and read it?
Yep.
And watch TV. And they would probably have 3 beers. And then they'd walk home.
Yeah, that's also very social for them.
It is. They meet their friends hang out there.
Exactly.
The women chat about women's stuff, the guys chat about men's stuff. And if there's a soccer game on, they watch it on TV. But they weren't living high off the hog.
Do you think today that it's the same, or is
I think it's gotten better. I think the young people have made it better.
I mean,
meaning there's nightclubs, there's the whole society has evolved
Yeah.
from a militaristic work
Okay.
ethic deal, and they've also gotten away from religion,
Yeah. A lot of
and that loosens everything up.
when you went back, when you were there in '65,
Yep.
could you still see the scars or remnants
Yes.
of World War II?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And the old timers would enjoy showing us new guys in Germany the damages. I know when I went to Nuremberg, and it was the first time I drove to Nuremberg, and one of the sergeants came with me, and we were on a mission of some sort. And he said, I'm going to tell you, we're going to go back a different way. He said, I want you to do this, do this, do this, and come out here. So we did. And we went by the old section of Nuremberg where the wall, the medieval wall, still existed. You should see the holes in the wall.
I can imagine.
Yeah. And there was piles of rubble, too, still existing in parts of Germany. I'd see it from time to time. It was an interesting deal. They warned us.
Would you like to go back?
Yeah, love to. Yeah.
Don't wait.
I would like to go on one of those tours of Normandy and then go up into Germany. But
I'd like to go to Europe, but it's going to be one of those guided tour things. As I don't want to get off a plane in a European city, rent a car, try to find my way around, and not. I want somebody meet me, or better yet, go as a group here. Everything is group and taken care of as a group.
yep, pay more, quite a bit more, but it's a once in a lifetime thing.
Friends of ours
Yeah.
did that with England, Scotland, Wales.
Oh, that must have been nice.
They had a group here, about 30 or 40 got together, and they didn't get together. The travel agency did it. They met some more people on a different spot, and they got there, and there's a couple buses waiting for them, and they handled their luggage, everything, and they just took them here, took them there. But they said they would never have seen half of what they saw because they wouldn't even known about it.
Yeah, exactly. You say woulda, coulda, shoulda. The things you should have done when you were young.
Oh my God! The list now, Bill. Our list gets about that long.
Do you know what I find fascinating is Hadrian's Wall that separates Scotland from England. And it's 109 miles. And it's one continuous path.
Yep.
And there's rest areas and it's all laid out for you. This village is 0.6 of a mile off the path. You take this path, and the food is good, and you can stay overnight. And so, it's how far can you walk in a day? I don't know, 10 miles, 12 miles, 15 miles.
Maybe.
Because I can walk 3 miles an hour.
Yeah.
And they got it all laid out for you. I'd love to do that, but now I couldn't do that.
And you always take a risk at our age too when you travel. Something's going to go wrong.
That's why you need to be in a group.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even my brother-in-law and his wife and her wife and husband took a cruise, and I don't remember what she got. She had an attack of some kind. Not somebody attacked her. She had a physical attack. And she had to be taken off the boat and then air evac'd
Oh boy.
back to Miami for surgery.
Oh.
Oh boy, tell her that put a dent on the vacation.
Did that take the fun out of things?
Yeah, for her. And expensive. Holy crap.
The insurance company didn't cover it all either, did they?
Not all of it, but more than I thought was
Yeah.
gonna.
Yeah.
Because there was a island trip with a small boat to another island a helicopter ride to another island, and then a jet medevac to Miami.
Yeah.
So
3 minutes. Yeah, that's where trip insurance. If you're going to take a trip, look into trip insurance.
if you're going to spend that much money
Yeah,
up front,
Yeah.
you better have it insured.
absolutely. And it also covers cancellations by the trip agencies.
Yep.
Or screw ups or whatever. But do you realize that Apple gets 20% of their income from China?
Yeah,
Yeah. So,
I don't. That doesn't surprise me at all because of the market size, and I know that they're the Chinese, the mobile ones, the that got money and move. They wait for that new Apple stuff to come out,
Absolutely.
and they buy it right away.
I didn't realize that was that high, though. So, China and Apple are really like Siamese twins.
Oh, absolutely.
They need each other badly. If Apple ever pulled out, well, which they couldn't do. I mean, there's factories over there.
That's right. They make so much stuff there.
But if they could, I mean, the uproar from the Chinese people.
Oh my God, they go crazy.
Yeah. But,
Well, that's why Buick stayed in business.
absolutely. They
Buick-
got the reputation of being a prestige vehicle.
that's right.
Whether it was earned or not.
Everybody
And it became the
strived
number
to have
one-
a Buick
yeah.
in China. Yep.
So one more thing here. Vivek Ramaswamy says children of illegals have no birthright for citizenship.
I saw that. I think that.
I agree.
Yeah, I think so too. The fact that you were born on one side of a line or another side of the line should not be the determining factor.
No. And you know something too that bothers me, and maybe we'll talk about it next time, is what? So someone comes
Yeah.
legally, let's say, from Mexico. And they come to this country and they have to, 8 years is it, or 10 years or
Something like
something? And then they get to apply for citizenship. Well, how difficult is a citizenship test? Is it a test, or is it, oh, just come in this door, sign this paper, you're a citizen?
It used to be pretty tough.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is now.
I know that it used to be that you had to pass a test about civics, how the government was created, how we worked as a country, history, and the English language.
Because I know at one point, a kid graduated from high school in this country, a very, very small percentage could pass that. The civics and the history part of it.
Which really speaks volumes.
Yeah.
That's another subject for another day. Our school
Just one quick
systems.
thing I noticed as an unusual one. I read it from Hertz, and I was surprised the number of electric vehicles that they had to rent. Everything. I mean, from A to Z. Even that Pola Tot, whatever that one. They had rows of Teslas. They had rows of wrap up. They had. But I'm thinking, I would not rent one because I wouldn't know where the hell to charge it.
I wouldn't want any problems. I don't think that's a problem-free vehicle at all.
My problem would have been, where do you plug it in?
Yeah, exactly.
Where I was, you know damn well there was no charging stations.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Well, folks, we've come to the end. Get your aprons bibs ready for the McRib Festival at McDonald's. And also be aware that there's no more free drinks. You buy one, you don't get free refills anymore at McDonald's. They're phasing that out. So, on that happy note, happy fall, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.